Welcome to the ad hoc 2 girls 1 gaming topic. I was going to 2 gamers 1 girl topic then.
Oh no.
What the hell?
That'd be a weird video.
I know, right? Spin out. You lovely viewers, thank you for everybody that's voted for the topic of this particular episode. And we're going to talk about, or try and answer and shed some light on, are gamers in their 30s too old? Now, you guys voted on this, just like you vote on everything, and there'll be brand new topics on the website linked below. Were you just going to say something lovely?
No, Libby our cat, came and smelled the dog, which is strange because normally...
Uh-oh, here we go. Camera's going to shake. Miley, darling. So, let's kind of get down to it then, because I've got a lot to say on this. Who wants to go first, Jessie?
I don't care.
You go first. Are gamers in the 30s too old? My kind of like small answer is no, but...
No.
Right, that's the end of the episode. No.
No, I think that, you know, gamers in their 30s and like 40s, they were like at the height, you know, they were young, and playing these games at the height of, you know, the video game explosion. So
Yeah.
that would be absolutely absurd and ridiculous. Some kids do say that, but I mean, come on, these are kids where if they say, you know, like lose a life, they can just keep going and going and going and going. Whereas we're from the generation of you lose 3 lives and you got to start completely over again. I mean, and that's a hardcore gamer to continue to do the same thing over and over until you keep progressing, and then starting from scratch again. I mean, that's like, that takes commitment, you know, to the point of like knowing the tricks too of, say, you know, let's say your mom, dad, whoever calls you for dinner and you're like further than you've ever been. You don't want to stop the game, but you also don't want to get an ass beaten for not showing up for dinner. So what you do is you turn off the television and just hope to God they don't realize the Nintendo is still on.
Yes.
So, because you've paused it and you're waiting until after dinner to go back to it. You know what I mean? And then God forbid they make you do the dishes. And I mean, this is like, that's real.
Yeah.
Those are real gamers.
I like that because just as you explained that there, all that went through my head was Super Mario Brothers. Like,
Yeah, seriously, that's exactly what I'm thinking of.
dead, right back to level 1-1, and I was like, oh shit, no way, dude.
It's even harder on, say, like the Game Boys.
Yeah, like the handhelds, so core kind of consoles that we grew up with. And you know, you made the point about like thinking of the kind of video game boom. I mean, I'm 37, just for kind of clarity. So I kind of like, I wasn't there when Pong kind of came out. I started playing like, it was the NES, so the 8-bit kind of eras when I came in. So
Yeah, and I started playing on the Atari 2600.
right, yeah.
So, you know, again, there was nothing really special about that, but I just absolutely loved it.
So we were quite close as kids, as very young kids, to the kind of birth time of video games.
Like the explosion. No, I mean, there's a debate on when the birth of video games was, but I would say the explosion of the popularity of video games and people having them in their house and not just being an arcade.
Yeah, when Nintendo, you know, they were big in Japan, and then they kind of tried to, when they successfully penetrated the US market. So you're thinking like 80s. So it just blows my mind, like that people kind of, and I've had this. I used to stream, like I've streamed a couple of Fortnite streams. I'm not a Fortnite gamer. And I think about Fortnite's target market, okay? I don't think I am Epic Games' Fortnite target market. I'm 37. I like my serious horror games. But people used to come in, and I don't know the age of the people, but they'd come into my streams and be like, you're too old to play video games. And my kind of like, I was like, dude, listen, right? People my age make your video games. People, devs my age, make Fortnite. They make Apex. They make, you know, the Call of Duties. And I always used to make reference to one of the biggest streamers and personalities out there. We won't go into the politics behind this guy, but Dr. Disrespect, he's older than me. Okay? Yeah. And I'm like, yo, if I'm too old, what does that say about the kind of wildly successful streamer, Dr. Disrespect? It just used to like blow my mind. And he was also a dev. But he was a Call of Duty multiplayer dev.
Yeah.
So, you know, people that have kind of grown up in that boom that you spoke about, the Atari, the NES, the Super Nintendo, you know, a lot
And
of
even before that, the arcades. I mean, come on.
dude, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of indie developers now, when I go to shows and you go to the indie area, it's full of people my age, because, you know, making games that were reminiscent and nostalgic from their childhood. So there's a lot of like pixel art games, because obviously back in our time, you know, 8-bit pixel art, 16-bit pixel art, and then we kind of stepped out of that into the more realistic 32-bit. So I think 8 and 16-bit was the kind of, and still is, the main influence for you pixel artists, and they're our age. So I'm like, it doesn't make me angry, it makes me laugh when people, and I had it last week, 37 and still playing and collecting video games. Well, I'm sorry, I don't want to go out and drink myself into a stupor, but yeah, I like to play video games. It's awesome.
It's kind of as dumb as saying like you're too old to use a cell phone, because, you know, back in the day we used like landlines or something. I'm sorry, are we not allowed to use new technology
No,
now?
I'm giving my iPhone away if you want to win my, no. No, but I remember my grandma had one of those phones where you turn it.
That kids now don't even know how to use.
Right, exactly. And they are frustrating phones.
And why would they? I mean, they didn't grow up with them, so
Exactly.
of course they wouldn't, but
it's like, you know, I don't understand that whole ageism. I thought we were kind of over that. Now, I don't want to be ageist in my response and say, it's just little kids that think, you know, people...
Oh God, no, there's plenty of adults that think we're too old
Dude.
to play video games.
Right, absolutely.
And that I find more offensive.
Have you encountered an adult who thinks you're immature for liking video games?
I don't think anyone's ever been brave enough to say it to me, but I've heard them say it about like their spouses. Or people that they used to date. Like, you know, he's so immature, he was still playing Xbox. And what kind of person plays Xbox? Like,
can you like add a bit more to that example? Like, is it like a friend that you've heard, or like a family member, or is it something you've seen online?
No, it's not a family member. My family's very into games. I mean,
Very
my
much so.
grandmother is like, she would kill me if she saw this. Actually, I won't say her age, but my grandmother, who by the way thinks I don't actually know her real age because she won't tell anybody, but she still plays video games.
Yeah.
Like she was super excited for The Last of Us 2 coming out.
Yes, you said. I remember you saying.
Yeah, but she didn't have it yet the last time or time before I spoke to her. I didn't get it. Ooh, sorry, the dog heard something outside. So I mean, what are you saying, that she's too old? I mean, she can play The Last of Us better than I can.
Yeah, and also on that topic, we have the amazingly phenomenal Shirley Curry, the Skyrim player, who I'm a huge fan of. She's approaching 1 million subscribers.
Right, we've mentioned her not that long
I
ago.
love Shirley Curry. She oozes charm. She adds, you know, it's good to have a different, like, her style of playing is very kind of storytelling. She'll take like a Skyrim mod. You'll get the characters in the Skyrim mod, and she'll tell her own story. She'll have her own narrative. She'll literally script the entire episode of, you know, and that's her content. It's not the kind of content that I want to make, but it's fantastic. And I think that the diversity of ages in this community is awesome, because without it, we wouldn't have the different plethora of games. We wouldn't have, you know, that. And, you know, I think age has nothing to do with it. And on the flip side, I just want to say this.
Oh boy.
What I want to say is I watch, I use the example of the Fortnite kind of World Cup. There was a big tournament last year, and a player called Booga won it, and I think he was 13, 14 at the time, and he won $3 million.
Nice.
And I was like, I didn't look at that from, he's too young to have all that money. You know, I totally appreciate the younger generation grinding on video games, the upcoming generation of streamers, the upcoming generation of developers. Like, imagine when these kids grow up, all their kind of Fortnite players, and everybody sat here talking about how nostalgic Fortnite was. They're going to be the one developing games. They're going to be the one developing consoles. They're going to be the driving force of the gaming community, so why not celebrate it? That's my 2 cents. Like, who gives a shit what age you are? Who gives a shit? Because, like, there used to be this stigma of girl gamers. There definitely was a stigma when I was in school. I had a Super Nintendo in school. I did not admit it to certain people because I would have had the shit kicked out of me. Like, girls did not play video games. It wasn't classed as feminine, it wasn't classed as what girls do, but now there's this huge kind of coin flip, and there's lots of girls that play video games, you know. So hopefully we'll start to see that ageism kind of like dissipate. I think people in their 30s are in their prime. In their prime.
Really? What's that say about me? Who's 42?
It means you're a veteran.
Oh God.
No. I think like, yeah, I think it's awesome that you play COD. I absolutely love watching you play COD because your style of COD is very different to my style, and I like that. I like seeing the differences, and it's about the diversity in ages. So yeah.
That's not about diversity in ages. It's just a different style of play.
But diversity means difference.
Well, yeah, but you know, I'm sure there's plenty of 42-year-olds that play the same way you do.
Yeah, I guess so. So, have you got anything else you would like to discuss or bring to the table?
No, I have to get back to work.
Okay, alrighty then. Listen, are gamers in their 30s too old? No. Are gamers in their teens too young? No. Absolutely not. We're all gamers, and without the kind of diversity, we wouldn't have the game plethora we have today. So that's my 2 cents. That's Jess's 2 cents. If you'd like to vote for the next topic of the Two Girls One Gaming topic, click the link in the description or click the card, and it will take you straight to the page you need to be on my website. Scroll to the bottom, make your submission. Thank you very much for watching. 3, 2, 1 it.
Sure.
3, 2, 1.